Good morning, everybody. I hope you are having a wonderful morning. If we're gonna give it some time and let people come on in here this morning. And if you're catching us on the replay, I greatly appreciate that. And thank you very, very much for doing just that thing. Remember when you come in to say hello, drop a comment, give a thumbs up. While we're waiting on everybody, I'm going to do a few things, so just hang loose while we wait, all right? It's a beautiful morning in America, 'cause it's always a beautiful morning in America. Hey, really? Yeah, really, really, really. That is correct, really. Let's do the Philippines. How are you this morning or your evening? What's going on in your world, man? Let's do the Philippines. Been there, done that. Frustrated. Why are you frustrated? I'm the one who's old, you know. Why are you frustrated? Aren't you living the dream? I used to tell Jack that. You know, he's always mad and pissed off about something in the Philippines. And I said, but hey, aren't you the one living the dream? Somebody's hacked you, your Facebook account, able to add their email address. That's crazy. Why? You know, I'm always curious. Why in the hell would people want to do that? I mean, what? You know, I guess I look at things as, you know, maybe I'm lazy. The only time I really want to do is anything for any, there has to be a gain to it. There has to be a financial gain. There has to be a reason for it. You know, otherwise I just don't care. So that's kind of weird. Jack is off. Yeah, well, he's definitely off his rocker. Luckily, he hasn't been trolling me too much lately, so you know, doesn't really bother me. But I'm kind of happy that he's found another cash cow apparently on YouTube. He's found other people to give him money now. So I guess he's doing what he wants. There was a jack off. I know. I got that. I got that. I kind of feel sorry for Jack, to be honest, just between you and I, because I have figured out his pattern, his history, and he seems to, he's kind of like a slutty girl. He peddles himself to whoever is willing to listen to his BS and give him money, you know. I know, we all tried. And that's the thing, he's a slutty girl. So once he starts not getting what he wants, then he doesn't want anything to do with you, you know. But if he's getting something out of you, then he's putting out, so to speak. Same here, same here. He got really mad at me because, I told you that he was causing trouble for my friend Dennis out of Canada, who's been a great supporter and is a good guy. And him and Dennis, kind of like you and him, and Ronald, I guess, Professor doesn't have anything to do with them. But it's kind of like when Dennis wasn't taking his shit, when Jack was on my live streams, he was trying to block him and put him in timeout for no reason, And I nicely told Jack, don't do that. It's my channel. It's not right. One, Dennis hasn't did anything. And he got mad at me and called me every name in the book, which is fine. Told me how crappy of a YouTuber I am, which is probably true. And how I'm an e-beggar. And I'm a false e-beggar because not only am I an e-beggar, a horrible e-beggar, but I'm a false e-beggar, meaning I didn't need the money like he did. So it was his point. His point was, how dare you ask people for money, which I don't. Well, we do when we do fundraising, like the rice thing. But overall, we don't ask for money. It's not my fault Jack got jealous because people would automatically on their own super chat us and donate to our channel. He thought everybody should be doing that to him. And he didn't like the fact that since he thinks I have money or that, and I'm not giving it to him, then I'm the bad guy. Seen him try to live stream and nobody's there for hours or maybe one at a time. Yes. Which one time was you. I checked in and didn't stick around. Yeah, and I've tried that with Jack. I try to help him. I try to help him grow his channel, but one thing I'll tell you, and I try to teach him how to make money in the Philippines. I try to do all kinds of things. So that, my philosophy is to be self-efficient. Teach somebody how to fish. You know the old story, right? But he truly didn't want any of it. He didn't want that. What he just wants is a free ride because supposedly to him, his mama promised him, he's 40 years old, Mama promised him $1,000 a month to go live in the Philippines to get rid of him from the United States. And Mama cut him off because he's such of a bad alcoholic. So 5 people watching, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for the thumbs ups. Drop a chat, let me know who's here. So he would prefer not to work and just have free money. Now, we all like free money, but most of us are going to do our due diligence to not rely on free money, to rely on other people's support. That's one thing I know about human nature is it's a small percentage of the population that are deadbeats, so to speak. I really think it is. She's not bragging, but if I would have invested in some of that, he could have had more than per month in dividends. I understand. But his investment policy was buy booze. That's where his investment policy is. I want to buy booze because I can't control my drinking, and that's reason, from reason I got, from listening to him talk, Mama didn't want him in America anymore because he was a disruptive force, causing problems at the golf course that his mom owns and things like that. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be drunk cowboys and whatnots. So, but I still think it's funny that he's still pissed off that his mama is not supporting him. I mean, I would be embarrassed if I was 40 years old, right, and needed somebody to take care of me. I mean, granted, MJ, I am not beyond the fact that if somebody wanted to buy me a $5 million house, sure, but But I truly never expect anybody to give me anything on the internet. Never do. And I'm happy to earn my way, and I have throughout the years. I've invested wisely, and Lorelai and I do just fine financially. Until this year, we didn't even talk about all the money we donated to the Philippines for rice at New Year. But we had people that were curious about it and stuff, so we decided to share that information. And Lorelai wanted her friends actually in the Philippines wanted to be a part of our live stream when they did the biscotti dinners. So that's how that kind of got started. Her friend in the Philippines said, "Hey, you know, gee, can I be on your live?" I'm like, "Well, Lorelai's well, okay." And that's kind of how that all opened up that can of worms, so to speak, or can of rice. Was her friend wanted to, and they want to do it for the rice thing. So, like, all right, if we're going to do that, then we can open it up to the public. Otherwise, we normally wouldn't have said a word to anybody. Yeah, I help friends time to time too. I really do. And I try to help the ones that are trying to help themselves. Jack's at that point in his life where I don't think anybody can help him. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I tell everybody, look, when you're in the Philippines or if you're married to a Filipino, the number one rule is I have no budget. I have no money. I am broke. I know we've been through that. We've gone through that a lot as a couple ourselves here in America. Here we go. Here we go. Hopefully you're back. What happens, and I hate it, but I don't know how to do anything about it, is if I'm doing a live stream on my iPhone, if I get a phone call, it freezes the live stream. So that's something weird that happens, and I can't do anything about it. I kind of got to just let even if I go to, kick it off or to send it to voicemail, it still has to go through its cycle, and then I can be back live. So it's kind of weird, kind of irritating. And somebody's calling me, please, please call us back. I don't know who you are, don't really care. So that's what happens there. Kind of get this phone call situation. Okay, good. Yeah, it wasn't you, it was me. It was me. It wasn't you, it was me. It was just simply somebody made a phone call and the phone call, I guess, turns off the internet or interrupts the internet service. So, you know, well, I'm sorry to hear that you've been hacked. That's a bummer. Maybe you've been hacked by Jack. Jack, was telling me that he's a little bit of a hacker and that he likes to be a troll on people's channel, but he does it where nobody know. And I know he's trolled our live streams quite a bit after he got mad at us and called us everything, or called me everything, and was mad because I wouldn't continue to give him money and I took his wrench away and told him that if he couldn't follow my rules on my live streams, then just don't come. Because I'm a real big fan of, look, whatever you want to do on your live stream, you do it. If somebody comes on there that you don't like and you want to dick with them, then you dick with them. But on my live stream, I'm in charge. you know, but I know he he thinks himself quite the hacker and quite the troll maker. So, which is kind of funny, kind of sad. Some reason that hacker or that smart, you think you would have fixed his sign. He had his name spelled correctly on it, but that's hanging upside down in his house. I know I saw a live that he was doing the other day, and it looks like he got a new computer and a new microphone. So I guess somebody gave him money. Somebody must have donated money to him. But I don't know what happened between him and Professor, but Professor told me that he had to disassociate himself from him too. So, but I saw it popped up on my, what do you call it, the thingy. And I saw he was talking to some old weird looking white guy, and he had a new monitor and a new microphone boom system set up. And so, yeah, and that's okay. But yes, I don't know. I never asked Ronald what happened, but I'm sure it was all about money. Jack probably got mad at him because Ronald wouldn't give him money, just like he got mad at me, and he got double mad at me because I wouldn't give him money anymore. And two, I wouldn't let him, attack Dennis on my live streams. And he kept getting mad at other people for no reason. And I'm just not going to do it. And that's one thing that we all have to learn as YouTubers is we got to think about ourselves. We got to think about our channels. How do we grow our channels? How do we do better with our channels? And we can't take what other people do personally. Is something I was telling folks last night on the live stream, that I don't take anybody's BS on the internet personally. I know, me included, yes, I know. Speaking of, I'm going to do some unboxing videos. Nice. Bought some things for my scooter. Okay, so you're gonna do the unboxing videos and you're gonna do the how to assemble them onto the scooter video. That's cool. That's good. I don't have any really thing new to do a video on. I'm kind of stuck right now without, it's cold here. I don't get out much in the winter. So my amount of videos topics is kind of low. I need to do some brainstorming. Maybe I need to do another cooking video down the road here. But I need to do some brainstorming and come up with some topics that I can do while the freezing weather is here. Well, but that's good. Trial and error is a good thing. I think those are good things. Say, well, I think this, I was impressed today. I did that key fob video right on my live stream, and I cut it out and I made a different video out of it. And I meant it to be as a funny video about how to change the battery in the key fob. With my wife and I, arguing over the key fob. It's kind of meant to be a lark. But I will say the guy that his name's Key Fob Rob, who has like 30 or 35,000 subscribers. I tagged him, and he actually emailed me back or messaged me back about my video. So I thought that was good. What is the dime size? What is a 25 size battery? Couldn't find good meats or steaks or ground beef here. Yeah, those are good topics. Quarter size battery would probably, a quarter is bigger than even the 2023 size batteries. So, if you're looking at exact size of the batteries, I got a whole battery box somewhere, and I got a bunch of watch batteries, because, I mess with watches a lot, and I buy and sell watches for fun. That's what I was thinking, 2023 or 2025. 2023 is the most common. It really is. You're going to find that it's the most common. Yeah, and sadly, I bought a 2-pack. Then I realized I had a 2-pack, but that's all right. I think once you know how to replace the battery, it's easy to do, and I'm happy to do it. But I just I wanted it to be a little bit more of a goofy video, a fun video, not a 35-second tutorial on how to change a battery. So that's part of, what I look at is my stick on my channel is I tried to have a little bit of fun in life. I tried to have my wife and I have fun on camera, to be, a positive role model in a sense that, you know, that people think being married to a Filipino maybe is not a bad thing. You know, and I don't mind a little banter back and forth between the two of us. It's a good thing, I think. 8 people watching. Thank you all for joining me early this morning. If you're in the background hanging out, come forward, drop a chat. Let us know how things are going in your world. If you don't, when I win the lottery today or tomorrow, then you won't get a share. So, yeah, and my wife and I think we do a pretty good job at it because, well, one, she's a happier person than I am. I think most people do. I've never had too many negative comments about, gee, you're mean to your wife or anything. I think most people kind of get that. I really do, because I think it goes hand in hand with being married. I really do. And I don't think much people have a problem with that. I think a lot of men feel sorry for us men because sometimes they see our wives get frustrated with us and they go, yeah, I can relate to that, man, let me tell you. I know how that's going. I know what's going on there, so. But it's all right, I mean, I made the little cooking video about how to do breakfast, or sorry, do a holiday dinner and stuff. So I don't know. I got a couple big videos I need to work on, or important videos to me. But man, it's 30 degrees here again today. When the weather's nice, we run around and do a lot of things, go to zoos, go to parks, and do live streams outdoors. But no, man, I just not into. I'm kind of like a tortoise during the winter. I slow down. Yeah, I know, it's always warm there. I know. That's why I don't feel sorry for anybody in the Philippines that you're having it so rough. It does for me. It goes right to my ankle joints, my knee joints, and I definitely pay the price for it. But that's all right, And it's like we've been invited to go out of town for New Year, and I'm just like, I don't think I am. I think I'd rather just stay home and stay warm. I don't want to get out there and do anything. Well, I'm with you. Mine started to hurt when I was in my 20s because I was stupid, maybe the 30s. Yeah, I'm sure it's probably arthritis, whether one form or the other, or one degree to the other, is pretty common. Especially, my back and neck and shoulders and legs are all filled full of arthritis, nothing they can do. But, I've had knee replacement. The other knee's had 3 surgeries, 3 cleanouts, ankle reconstruction surgery. So I really need to figure out how to get rid of some leg pain so I can be more active. Yeah, I did a lot of stupid stuff. Not only was I into big powerlifting, but when I was in my early 20s, I delivered furniture. And I delivered moving furniture, yeah. But since I was such a big, strong kid, I wind up doing a lot of it myself. Because the boss man always said, well, David could do it, he has a dolly. Because, I could pick up a side-by-side out of the bed of the truck and set it down on the ground, throw it on the dolly around, or pick it up and move it. Washers and dryers I could grab and pick up and move around. And so, yeah, you know. Yeah, I understand. Oh, you wanted to prove you could do it. All right. So, well, I was only probably 5'10", maybe 5'11" at my best when I was 20. 5'11". I think I'm 5'10" now. But I didn't want to prove. People just took advantage of the fact that I was such a big kid and I was always a strong kid. I think it may have shrunk. I think we all do. Hell, I might be 5'2" by now. I don't know. So carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders makes us shrink. It's not degenerative bone disease. It's the weight of the world on our shoulder. You know, that's makes us shrink. So good build and work out a lot. Yes. I worked out a lot, but I wasn't skinny by ever. I've never been skinny in my life. I've always looked like this. But at one time, I could bench press over 400 pounds. And so that was a lot different world. Now I'd probably be able to do 4 pounds. Well, I think gravity plays a role in it logically. But what the doctors say that your discs shrink. And so your spine compresses. Yeah, I feel like Lorelai tells me that I'm not weak, that I don't know my own strength, but I feel like I'm so weak that I've told her, I said, maybe there's times that I overcompensate because, being a guy that lifted weights for years, I could literally do so much. And so now grabbing a 50 pound bag of rice, it takes a little bit of effort. And, before I could just palm it with the hand and curl it easily, but now, I got to work at it. And she says that when I do things, I don't know my own strength because, I'm used to being a lot stronger, and now that I'm not, I'm putting too much force and effort into it. I don't know. She may be just trying to make me feel good in life. I don't know. But that's okay. That's what wives are supposed to do, right? But, she says I break too many things. Yeah, they feel heavy now. It's like I used to grab water bottles, and I could literally grab a 5-gallon water jug by the neck and sit here and curl it. And I could pick them up off the ground and curl them and set them on countertops. I always did that in the labs because I thought it was fun to do, entertaining. It's a Filipino thing. They don't think they make any messes. I don't know where this comes from. My wife thinks I'm the only one that makes a mess in this house. It has to be me. I don't work, right? So it has to be me. Forget the fact she's here and, I can show you her mess. Forget the fact that we have 2 dogs who bring crap in the house all the time and do what they want. I was pretty strong when I was young, but now I just don't even try. I know. I like weightlifting, to be honest. If I could ever get a weightlifting partner again, I would definitely go back into it, doing light weights and build back up. But I know that my joints would never tolerate trying to bench press 300 or 400 pounds again. I just know that. And I guess that's okay. Do we really need to do that? It's kind of my question. Do we really need to be doing that type of crap to our body at this age? Nah. But I do. Lorelai bitches and complains. Well, man, I don't know how this house is always a mess. And I'm like, one, you're a whirlwind. You're in and out of here every day, going to work. You throw your coat everywhere. You throw your dirty socks and your shoes. And then you blame me, because I'm not cleaning up after you, But that's okay. Oh, I can't deny that I make a mess either, but I'm not the only one, is my point. Well, Lorelai did that in the Philippines. When we lived in the Philippines, she would clean the house 3 times a day. Mop, sweep, clean 3 times a day. But then again, they have nothing better to do in the Philippines, right? I mean, I know, I mean, I found the Philippines, and I know you're enjoying your time there, but I found it extremely boring. Extremely boring. I didn't have enough to do in the Philippines. And Lorelai kept busy cleaning the house, even though it was clean. And then we'd do laundry, and then we'd order food, and then we'd clean. You know, it's a lot like this is not a good life for me. I don't like being bored. And doing the internet, doing YouTube and doing the internet while I was living in the Philippines for me wasn't enough escape to go. I didn't, plus we lived in the city, in Cebu City, and I didn't like the congestion, the traffic, and with the PTSD I suffer from, I was not an enjoyable around the crowds. And we had a lot of crowds, and I didn't like, I don't know. I didn't like the places that we lived. I didn't have any, if I could have had a yard where I could go gardening and things, and that's a different story. But we were renting, trying to figure out where to buy or where to build at, and we could never come on an agreement about where we're going to build. She wanted to live in the city. I wanted to live out of the city so that we could have chickens. And, well, you could have chickens in the city, but you know what I mean. Grow vegetables and have space. Be close to the ocean so I could go fishing, but she's a city girl. And so living in the city didn't work for me. I need music, studio, computer set up, a man cave. Yeah. I agree. You know, it's kind of like, you know, Lorelai has an office at this house, which she's working from home this week, and I have an office here. And I'm surprised, though. Here's what's funny. Her office is the same size as mine. I don't understand this. So she has an office, I have an office. How come her shit is in my office, but my shit's not in her office? That's what I want to know. Why is her shit in my office and not in hers? You know, my office is extremely crowded and it's not my stuff. Like, oh no, I'm just going to put it in here for a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you all for being here and giving us a thumbs up. If you're in the background, come forward and say hello and let us know who you are so we can acknowledge you, welcome you in. We appreciate the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. But it's kind of like she wanted this treadmill. I bought her the treadmill. Oh, the treadmill's sitting here now. The plants are hanging off of it. That could go in her office. You know, I got a work table here that I was going to build models on, which I'm going to try to do in January. After we get done with the holiday, I'm actually going to do some live streaming of me trying to build models for the month of January and February because it's going to be so damn cold here. But, well, now it has some fish tank on it and some plants on it, some other shit of hers on it. There's all kinds of stuff under it. That's hers. And I'm just like, man. That's right. Sound like just how a closet works. It does. Women's shit goes in there, and you get one spot, very small spot. Boat model, boats. Yes, I'm gonna build a boat model. Yeah. Well, our master closet. That's how it started off. It got to the point that my spot got smaller and smaller, so I just took everything out and I moved it to the closet. And then when she realized, you know, oh, you didn't need all of that closet. So she put a bunch of her stuff in the closet in the other room where I put my shirts, my clothes. I'm like, my God. And so when we get our next house, we don't want to live here forever. So we're hoping to buy a house next time. And when I look at the master bedroom, I'm hoping there's a room next to it, like a guest bedroom, a small one, that I can just cut a hole in the wall and put a door in. And I'm going to turn one whole bedroom into a closet for her hobby. I mean, everything. I'm going to take one big bedroom, spend the money, put in the shelving, put in the racks, put in a table with dressers. I'm gonna say, this is yours. You keep all your shit in here. There you go. Find your own condo. Now I don't know how you're gonna get away with that, Michael. I mean, if I rented my own condo on my own, man, my wife would cut my nuts. Because the first thing she'd be thinking is, you're gonna bring women to your condo? You know, because she knows, at least in the Philippines, that there's a lot of women that will come a knocking. So that I can go back and forth. Yeah, I know your home is too small, but I'm telling you, well, nearby so she can stay with you. I know, but if you let her in the condo, she's gonna add her own stuff to the condo, and it's gonna get smaller. You're just gonna be paying double the rent. A computer room, a studio, etc. I know, I know. If you guys are renting the house that you're in, maybe you ought to just rent a bigger house. Because one thing I think is, no matter how many condos you rent, you're going to fill them up if you let the wife involved. And so you own that house, okay. And you probably don't have room to add on to that house because of the way the yards are. Yeah, 2-bedroom, 1 CR. That's what we had in the Philippines. But I get the concept. And okay, so it is crowded. Boy, that is crowded. I agree with you. That is crowded. Unless you got a lot of outdoor space where you could build like what we'd call a shed in America. So you can rent a place, or at least have her rent it, so the rent is cheaper, right? Yeah. So you might have to do that. Yeah, I know what you mean, the row houses, yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that I had a lot of trouble with that in the Philippines, being that close to my neighbors. I didn't like it. I guess I'm just not a friendly person. I don't want to be so close to we're too close to our neighbors here. I mean, that's part of my drama here when we buy another house like in Southern Alabama. I want to buy in an older neighborhood like built in the 80s because they had much bigger lots. And I want a little bit more elbow room between. My neighbors are fine, they behave fine, but I want more elbow room. So doing those brownstones, as we kind of call them, or row houses, man, not a good thing. And when we had to stay in a condo in the Philippines after Typhoon Odette, man, and granted, there's only 2 people on the whole floor, but I didn't like that either. But I could see using one as an office or a studio. Here in America, what I would like to do, which I think would be really cool, is to get one of those sheds, a studio shed, and turn that into my man cave outside, put power in it, and be able to have an office outside the house in my backyard, you know. And I would set it up to where I could do stuff inside and have a hobby shop, small one, you know, like a 20 by 16 shed, but make it look like a house, have an outdoor patio sitting area where I could sit outside and enjoy the weather. I grew up originally on a farm in Illinois, oh yeah, then moved to Tennessee. So you understand there's always plenty of space between homes. Here it is way different. It is. So that's where, you know, I know we can get a house that has bedrooms, but I always thought if I could take a unit and or even buy a place that already has like a studio apartment, and then kind of make that my own little world, you know, would be nice. It'd be fun. And I could arrange it to where it's part of the dirty kitchen or the outdoor barbecue area so that it kind of transitions. So if you're having events, you got some overflow area. And if people are over and you're doing YouTube and stuff, and, you know, or in your case, music and all that, you got an outdoor party area, gathering area as all part of the house, but just a little separate from it. And my vision would even be able to put like sliding doors on it and have a lot of light in it and space, and then have a patio area and stuff like that. That's what my big vision would be, to have one end of it be an office, the other end be a big table where I could sit and work on trains or models or watches or things of that. That would be something I would really like. Yeah, yeah, nice little something like that, but nothing huge. No, I mean, maybe a deck, maybe an awning or a pergola that you can hang out in, that you can garden and decorate cool around it. Just, because part of the hobby, for me is doing outdoor stuff. So planting things, growing flowers, things like that. I would want to do all of that in the whole area and incorporate and kind of make a plan. Because I want to invite, yeah, see? And what I do is, I don't do music, but I do a lot of, and I'm working on getting to become a certified life counselor or life coach. I do a lot of that. And so there are times that I have friends that come over and we chit chat deeply. And I would like to remove that from the house so that the wives can't hear any of it. I actually have a noise machine that I turn on, and they come into my office and we visit. But I would like to do that separately. Yeah, I did when I lived in, nice, okay. Yeah, we need an office. We do. And Lorelai needs an office, but she can have one in the house in her gigantic closet. We're not going to have kids. We don't have guests spend the night a lot. If somebody's spending the night here, it's very unique. So we don't ever think about taking a space dedicated for an extra bedroom. We don't look at it that way. If we get a visitor that needs to stay here, then we'll make arrangements. But, Lorelai can have the interior of the house, and she can put her big, gigantic closet in one area and then put her own little office. And the other thing, you gotta have a TV. Because that way I don't want to hear my wife going, "Can you turn the TV down? I'm trying to sleep." So get the TV in the office or have it on the wall outside so you can sit outside. And maybe you even have a nice screened in porch coming off of my studio, my work area, so that I can, and it can be attached to the house. It could be all the way from the house to the studio, a big screened in porch area, because I like to sit outside. And, find a little area that you could put an outdoor TV in and just sit there and watch TV outside the house, watch the football games, and, have the dogs with me. But then, I know what would happen. Little by little, stuff that my wife owns would start moving into my space, because they don't want to be without us. And so, they don't want to feel like they're, so they will find a way to kind of nuzzle their own little south, like here. I look around and go, I had a nice office going until, but her office is next door, So it is kind of funny on how that works, but it's all right. Well, that's kind of the plan. I'm a gigantic, huge outdoor guy, so my dream would be to live on the water where I could sit out in my back patio, covered porch area, whatever you want to call it. My beautiful landscaping and watch the water go by. So, because I could live stream outside forever. I could sit out by the water and live stream and just be tickled to death. And it's one thing we hope that, or I hope, when and if we get to move to Alabama next year, that I can start doing more fishing channels. I know your music, I'm fishing. I have a channel already set up that I would like to turn in, to be active. And so I would do a lot of videos on that channel where I'm fishing, and fishing as an old handicapped guy, trying to encourage people that have disabilities and limited motion. Hey, you can go fish. here's how, and here's where, and here's the mobility scooter. Here's how you attach this crap and get it worked out, the things you need. So I think that would be an interesting small niche. That would be fun to do, is part of what I think. I think that would be kind of fun. Plus, it'd give me a justification to go fishing. It's like you, if you can find a justification, collaboration to do music, and then what better thing is there? You couldn't have anything better. So if I have a reason to go fishing, man, I can't have any better. Invite other people over to go fish. I like that. I'm good with that. And so, yeah, that's part of my big dream. But we'll see how it goes next year. We got a lot to do. My wife has a good job, and she doesn't really want to leave her job yet. She's not frustrated with it yet. So I know that's a big point of contingency, that she's making good money and she doesn't want to give up the good money. But these winters are hard on me. Winters are hard on me. So, I do the best I can during the winters, but the winters are hard. And I get so bored, even in America during the winter, that it's crazy. And I know there's, and I know it gets cold down in Alabama, but it definitely is warmer at least 10 months out of the year, 11 months out of the year than it is here. We got 4 months here where I pretty much lock myself indoors and don't have any motivation to do anything. So it kind of sucks. And if I could get a couple more months of gardening and good weather and fishing, and it would make me healthier, I think. I personally believe that that would make my life more enjoyable. And I don't know, maybe I'm being selfish in it. But the one thing I know, though, that how to say this? I don't want to say that I'm smarter than Lorelei, but I know that if I get us in a better location that's way less expensive than where we currently live, even though she doesn't really care about the financial future, that it's going to be easier for me to prepare her for a financial future without me. Now, granted, the added benefit is I get to go fishing a lot more. It's warmer. We can garden, because we like to garden, a lot longer of the year. And two, the houses are cheaper. Cost of living is different. The culture and the vibe is different. I think I would be healthier. So there is some selfishness in it, right? But I also think there's a great benefit from her, for her. I know that she doesn't like transitions. And I'll admit, and I've told, and I got a friend I was talking to over Christmas, the other day. I probably only have one big move in me. And I told Lorelei, I was telling Lorelei this the other day, because we thought about buying a duplex. And I told her that I wished when I was a young man, I would have bought a duplex when I was in my 30s, my first house. I shouldn't have bought a house, I should have bought a duplex. And then I should have lived in one half, rented the other half, waited a couple years, bought another one, did that a couple of times. Because now we'd have all kinds of rental properties, right? So I was telling her I wish I would have done that. And she's like, well, why don't we buy a duplex in Alabama? And I'm like, well, if we do that, we got to move again. And I told her, and so we got to move to the duplex, then move out of the duplex, and blah, blah, blah. And I told her, health-wise, I just don't know if I have it in me, because physically, I don't know how I'm going to move us to Alabama. Moving to Alabama, physically getting us there is going to be the big challenge. Physically, I can't do it anymore. I bought a 4-bedroom house, rented 2 bedrooms. One was my bedroom, and the other fourth was my music computer room. Yeah, but that was when we were younger. And that's kind of where I was going to that, Michael. I don't think doing that right now would be smart now. But what I can do in Alabama for Lorelai, because the property values are so much cheaper, is I can pick her up a rental property, a house, if that's what she really wants, to have a rental property to manage. Because part of it is she wants something to manage, something to do. But I also thought about buying a condo and letting her rent the condo out. But we also have land in the Philippines, and we're supposed to be building some rental houses in the Philippines. So I don't know. I would rather not do any of that. But, I got to find things for her to do. It's kind of like we got to, they may not think how we think, but if you can figure out how they think and then take advantage to help them with that, then that's a good thing. Well, and one thing I looked at before we even went to the Philippines, we had a house that we decided to sell, but we were going to rent it. And I did a bunch of research and made some videos about hiring a property rental company. And if I ever had a rental property, I would do that. I would pay the 15% and hire a property rental company. I wouldn't do it myself. Lorelai would like to do it herself. I don't want to do it myself. I would rather hire a company to do everything. You got to pay the 15% fees, and you got to put 10% aside for repairs. But that's how I would do it. Because I don't want to have to deal with it. I want the rental company to call me. I want them to handle it and not worry about it. So, but we found a property, for instance, in Alabama that has a studio apartment on it. I told her, I said, well, one thing we can always do, and it's a bigger house, we could just keep the studio apartment, and when your friends or family comes to visit, whoever, then they can stay there instead of in our house. So I don't know. I agree. I'm kind of the same way. Sanity and safety is important, and I can make sure she's financially secured other ways versus having rental properties. Now, I don't have a problem buying land and sitting on it and paying the taxes on it for a number of years until the land doubles or triples in value. Then you sell it and take the profit, pay the capital gains tax. But I also look at it as the other way, is what I would rather do is eliminate all debt, right? Have no expenses, except for maybe your utilities. Therefore, all your money is yours. Alexander's in the house. Hello, hope you're well. Leaving a quick thumbs up. Can't stay. Alexandria, we appreciate you. Thank you for the quick thumbs up, as always. We hope you're going to have a wonderful day. Hope it's a little bit warmer for you. And we're glad that you came by and at least said hello to us this morning. Just trying to do some random pop-up ones to see some of the people I normally would see in the mornings. When the weather was nicer, I'd sit outside in the mornings. It was too damn cold, so I don't sit outside much in the winter. And I've had people message me and ask me, hey, where you been in the mornings? And I'm like, well, hiding in my bed under the blankets with the dogs because it's cold. So I thought I'd better, at least show my beautiful face in the mornings. So you're just sitting on land over here? Yes. Do you have debt on it? No. Well, the only debt we have is on our current home. We have a lot of equity in it, but we do have debt on this house. The equity that we have in this house would pay for a house in Alabama. So, because property values are so high where we are. But that's the only debt we have is a mortgage. And for Lorelai's financial long-term security, I don't want her to ever have a mortgage. So, when I die, I don't want Lorelai to have to pay anything but utilities to live. And that's my goal. So that with the investments she's made in her 401ks, in some stocks and other investments that we've done, that whatever retirement money is left out of mine, that she would have enough money to where if she didn't have to pay mortgage, then we know for sure, even if she had to go work a job, that she could pay her utilities. Alexander says, a good idea on keeping property and paying the taxes while you wait for the value of the property to go up. It is. And I got friends that have done that, and I got a friend right now that they invested, I'm just going to tell you, this is crazy, but where we live, it's been 14 years. They bought 10 acres of land for $50,000, and it just sold for $1.1 million. So they're all making roughly $250,000 on a 12.5 investment. So 4 of them. So, well, Alexandria, I'll tell you how to get into stocks. Simply is open a Charles Schwab account, and Charles Schwab allows you to buy pieces of stocks. So, for instance, if you want to buy Amazon stock when it's low, but you don't have the $250 a share, you can buy $100 worth, and then you can buy it again and again and again until you get a whole share. So Charles Schwab is who I use, and I've been using them for years. And so when I get a little bit of extra money, I throw it in my Charles Schwab brokerage account, and I look for things to buy that I want to invest in, or I buy more. That's what I do, and it's easy to do. And Charles Schwab is really good about helping you out. MJ says Fidelity, I would say Fidelity allows partial stocks also. Yeah, partial stocks. I'm about to do a whole series on about retiring early. Oh, that'd be good. I look forward to that. Yeah, I will. I never know enough. They are when you sell them, unless you roll it over into something else. But yes, when you sell them, they are. The profit, yes. And yeah, it's sell for profit. So, and that's part of what I've been doing. I've been investing in stocks knowing that I have no intentions of selling any. I have complete intentions of them sitting there and growing for Lorelai. So then after I'm dead, maybe when she needs the money, then she can sell it. If she has to pay the tax, hopefully in 20 years, the amount of improvement, or we've doubled because they've split. It's all right. Right now, people think Amazon may be getting ready to split. Is it? No, Tesla. Because Tesla stock is jumping up so fast that people are starting thinking that it may split down the road. If it does, that's great. And so therefore, that's how you make your money even after paying taxes. Roth IR is after-tax investment. That is correct. So you don't pay taxes on that. Roth is king. I agree. We have Roth accounts, and I put money in there for Lorelai. Yeah, forward split versus a reverse split. That's correct. So there's a lot of things you can do. If your company has 401ks, I always tell everybody, go for it. Jump right into it. Invest I do that with Lorelai. Every job she's had, I've told her, what is the max they allow you to do? So do the max. Do they allow you to buy stock? Let's start purchasing stock immediately, as soon as you're allowed to purchase stock. So I'm real big on trying to get her saved up for the future. And so that's how I look at when I buy for stocks. I'm buying them for 30 years down the road. I'm not buying them to flip and trade and invest. I'm looking at them as another nest egg for Lorelai when I'm gone. I would agree. And you can leave your stock shares to family members. So there's a lot of ways that you can kind of finagle some of it. I agree. I mean, if you're young, when I was younger and I started my 401ks, well, I was high risk. But as I aged, I turned the risk value down. And then, my last couple of years before I knew I was going to be retiring due to heart failure, I made it conservative. So I think the key to long term investment strategy is simply diversification. Make sure that you're diversified. December the 8th, you'll be 53 years old. Yes. Let's spread it around. Yes. Diversify. That's correct. So, a little bit of land ownership, stock ownerships, 401ks, mutual funds, IRA, Roths, whatever you can get your grubby little hands on is a good thing to do. But yeah, we have land in the Philippines, and I've been looking at lots in Alabama to buy where I think growth is going towards. And we may buy a couple lots and just sit on them. I'll pay the taxes. And as businesses move towards there, and if you can buy a lot for 20 grand and sell it for 60 grand, and even after the capital gains tax, well, there you go. I'm looking around at places in the Philippines, but I think Alfonso looks good to me. Okay, all right. Yeah, we have land up in Cebu. We don't know what we're going to do with it. The neighborhood that we bought these lots in isn't 100% done yet. So we don't know what we're going to do with the land or the lots. We may sell them once the development is completely developed. There's an airport going out there in a new mall, and just make our money off the land. We've also thought about building a couple of rental houses on them and hiring a company to rent them in the Philippines for us. So we're just what we're doing though with that is we're in no hurry to do anything. It's not costing us anything. So what we did is bought them. We're just going to sit on them until we're ready to do something with them. It's not hurting us. I'm looking around place Philippines, but yeah, I may just stay here a while. Things develop around me and rent a temporary place, just have my man cave. Yeah, I think you gotta have a man cave. As long as you don't bring any women to their man cave, I think you'll survive the Philippines. Money isn't an issue for things here. No, money was easy for us in the Philippines. It was just the boredom. Well, the money issue was everybody wanted it. In the Philippines, everybody wanted your money. You know how that is, MJ. You know how that is, Michael. That they look at you and go, oh. They look at your wife, and they go, oh, she's married to a foreigner, and so pony up. And the sad thing, a lot of knocks on the doors, yes, a lot of phone calls. The sad thing for my wife, I think she learned while we were living there that she wasn't seen as a local anymore. She was not seen as a local Filipina. She was seen as a foreigner's wife. And so, I think that changes the mindset. I hear that outside a lot. Yes, Bo, I know. Yeah, I've seen the same changes, right? And I think that kind of breaks their heart a little bit because they're not seen in the same light. They're like, I am a Filipina. No, you're not. You're a foreigner's wife. It's a different thing. And expectations are much greater. And I think that was stressful for Lorelai. Plus the fact that I was so bored, it was extremely stressful. And I had health issues after Typhoon Odette. I really struggled living without water, power for weeks. I didn't do the rough camping very well. But it still seems the same to her. We're not married though, right? Yeah, I don't think it matters if you're married, or if you're just living together. She's going to be considered, even if she's just your roommate, platonical roommate, In the Philippines, it's still the same thing. Well, you have access to that foreigner, so you're the gatekeeper. Her close friends from kindergarten. I know, man. Um, and one thing I always told Lorelai was when we're in the Philippines, look, if you want me to be the one that says no budget loudly, I'm happy to say no budget. It's like, no, I'll tell them. And I'm like, all right, but I'm just telling you, I have no problem if somebody's asking to say no. And, I just don't. It does, but part of it is, for me, and thank you all for being here watching, is it's not about the dollar amount or the peso amount. It's about the ideology that comes with it. Well, you're a foreigner. I'm going to go to you and get some of your money. Why, I would never think that. I would never go to somebody. I have friends that are very wealthy. I mean, they're up there in the upper echelons of the world. And I would never go to them and think, hey, you have money, I should get some of your money. I would never go to lunch with them and expect them to buy me lunch. I paid my own way. So I think it's a different mentality for us. I have to be the one to say, no, that's good. Take the burden off of her. And I offered to do that to Lorelai, and Lorelai said, no, I don't mind. I can do it because it's, my money too. And I'm like, it is. Marionale friends, that's it. But my friends that, I won't let them buy lunch from me. I don't care if they got 12 million, 13 million in the bank. We got friends that have serious money here. I mean, they can buy and sell my ass any day of the week. Nah, I'll buy my own lunch, but thanks. And I think they respect that because I respect it because I don't want anything from anybody. So I don't like the concept of you have it and I should have it is what bugs me in the Philippines and bugs most people, most of us. Some multimillionaires, yeah, because we worked for it. They worked for it. What makes you think just because I have it, you should get it? Now, my wife should get everything because I married her, period. When we got married, I immediately went to the bank accounts, made her co-owner. I made her co-owner of the cars, the freaking everything, the house, everything. I made her co-owner. But just because I have it doesn't mean you should have it. That's a concept that's foreign to me. But in the Philippines, that's not, that way. That's partly why I think it's so strange. And I understand it, I guess, but so strange how many Filipinos do what they do. Even in the U.S., beggars are around, but I always tend to offer them, or even here, give the opportunity to do some work for me and to earn it. That's right. You offer them some work, and then they go away and they quit asking, right? Well, if you want to work for it, we'll find you something to do. I get it, yeah. Hello to everybody, Chasing Tail Outdoors at work. David will be listening to you. Thank you for that. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for listening. We appreciate that. At least somebody listens to me. I can't get any respect here, but at least somebody will be listening. So, loves that name, yeah. Chasing Tail Outdoors, yes, he has a good channel too. And but if I was in poverty, like the Philippines, I would do whatever I could to get out of it too. And I understand that desire, but they don't. They don't do everything they can do to get out of it. They're looking for the easy way. They want to either take it from the foreigner or they want to show their boobs on the internet in hopes of getting men to give them money, or their hopes to getting a foreigner. Now that I kind of get. I can understand why you would want to marry somebody not a Filipino man because Filipino men suck. So I get that part. But hello, MJ from Chasing Tales. Hey, Chasing Tales, Outdoors Adventures. So I get all of that. I do, but it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe my personality is I would rather work and know I earned it than have somebody give it to me and think I owe them something. So maybe that's just me. I don't want to owe anybody anything. That's why I don't borrow money from people. That's why I don't ask for help. Yeah, the same way, Venus, he says, wasn't looking for a foreigner. That's why I connected so well with her. She was working offshore and paid for her own house, her own way. For example, she owns this house you're staying in. Lorelai was the same way. She didn't want a foreigner. She had no desire to be with a foreigner. When I met her, she was transitioning jobs. She had her own job, her own place to live, and basically said, "Look, I'm going overseas to work. If you really want a relationship, then you better figure it out because I got other things to do." So, and she made her own money, and when she came here on the K-1 visa, she actually brought money back that I'd sent her that she never used. So, yeah, she did. She told me, she's like, I don't want a foreigner, but look, you know, we can work on this and see where it goes, but, you either shit or get off the pot, is kind of the thing, which is good, because I believe that. I tell people all the time, when it comes to these long distance relationships, you either need to get your happy ass to the Philippines within a year or leave the women alone. Because if you can't make it in a year's time, then you're feeding them bullshit. You're giving them false hope. Yeah, Lorelai did the same. Lorelai never asked me for money. I felt really bad because I told her she was on her way to go work overseas. And I told her, I said, no. It's up to you, but why don't you not do that? And I will send you money to live on every month because we are going to be there. I'm going to be there in a few months to see you. And then if it works out well, we're going to do the K-1 visa and have you come here. So I'll send you money every month. And she's like, all right. And I would do that, but she would never ask me for money. And one month I forgot to send her money just because I was busy. And I was talking to her one day and just, saying, hey, what are you up to? And and we were video chatting and I asked her, well, I don't know what she was cooking. And she's like, well, I'm cooking the last of my noodles. And I'm like, what do you mean you're cooking the last of your noodles? And she's like, well, I'm out of food. And I'm like, well, go buy some. And she's like, well, I can't. I don't have any money. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't have any money? So she's like, well, you didn't send me any last month. And so I've been living off of the carryover. I'm like, shit. So I immediately sent her money. And I said, and I had to tell her, I said, look, I appreciate the fact that you don't want to ask, but sometimes I forget, So you need to ask if you need something because I forget. And, but she wasn't going to ask. She wasn't going to ask for money. That's right. Same here. And I told her that. I'm the one that started. Said, look, I'll send you enough money to live on, pay everything, and all that stuff. That was my ideal, my suggestion for her not to go work overseas. I agree. It's definitely, well, how I knew that Lorelai was a good girl, that was because I sent her a digital camera. Gotta remember, this is years ago. But it was a digital camera where you could send images, Wi-Fi capable. And I sent it to her because I wanted her to be able to email me pictures of her environment and her surroundings and things. And she did, and she got this, and I sent her a care package and some other things. But how I knew she was really good was she called me extremely upset, extremely distraught. And after I got her to calm down, I'm like, well, what in the world is wrong? And she's like, I dropped the camera into the salt water when we were taking a ferry or whatever, boat ride. She was taking a boat ride with her friends. And she was, I can't believe I did this. I know how expensive it is, only like $100. So that's when she was completely devastated that she wasted my $100 camera. I knew, this is good. I made a final decision to bring her home. Yes, yeah. And then every step therefore just reconfirmed that I was going down the right road. Even though she worked overseas much more than she could in the Philippines, it wasn't a good situation. I made enough easily to take care of everything. I did the same. I just had to remember to do it every month. Because I would send her, and I'm like, it's not big money to me. And so one month I just forgot. I mean, I was busy teaching, doing things, and, I just forgot. Yeah, we do have a lot in common in that sense. And like I said, when she came over on the K-1 visa, she had money in her pocket that she'd been saving from all the money I'd been sending her for the year, because we met in June. She got here in June, basically sent her money. But when she got here, she had money in her pocket. And she gave it to me, and I'm like, well, what's this? And she's like, well, this is all of your leftover money. And I'm like, well, just hang on to it. It's okay, So, I'm thinking you could have spent it in the Philippines. It would have been okay. And she would want to show me receipts. Well, I bought a shower curtain to put on the wall, because the wall, her building, she lives in a rooming board, you know how those are. So I needed to get a shower curtain, and I bought this plastic stuff that I could put my clothes in so the ants don't chew my clothes up, and I'm like, okay, it's okay. So that's why, and I know a lot of people think I'm crazy, because when she got here, right after we got married, I put everything in her name. I had no qualms about it. She never mismanaged a dollar, period. Never. So I had 1,000% confidence, and still do, that throwing everything in her name was the right thing to do. Because if I got sick and died, she deserved it, because I wasn't giving it to anybody else. So she's deserving of everything we had going on. So, of all the finances. You cannot do that yet. And I understand that. I mean, and I understand. You got to work that out, how you want to work it out. Oh, okay. So Venus is, yes, you can't do that. Yeah. Well, then, if in the Philippines, she's married forever until the guy dies. Unless they finally get around to passing the divorce case, the divorce laws in the Philippines. And I know they're working on it and trying to get it, but you're right, you can't. You can't do it, and it's not smart. Now, you can set up a trust fund for her if you ever wanted to do that, to where it's payable to her every month. You could do something like that. But yeah, and I understand, and I know a lot of guys in your boat. I've talked to a lot of guys over the years in that exact same boat. So how do I take care of my wife? Yeah, and you should. Just wait until you're ready to do it. I had just no qualms with Lorelai, but we're married legally here in the U.S. Went through all of that. You could buy rental properties with her. Well, if you're not married, I don't know how you could. Because we can't buy property. I guess you could buy a condo, but we can't buy land there. And if you're married, legally married, you get spousal rights, which allows you to occupy and take care of the property, sell the property. But if you're not married, oh, business partner, do the 60-40. Yes, you can do that. She can become the 60% owner of the business. That's correct. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. 60-40 you can do. I know I know some Pakistanians and some Koreans that have done that to set up shop in the Philippines. They've actually gone over and married a Filipina so they can start their business, and they just make their wives 60% owner of the business. So yes, very familiar with that also. Also, we looked into that, but we made them, and now it wouldn't have mattered for us, but as a business, it's different from, if I understand talking to the attorneys there was, and we should have done this. We made a big mistake in the Philippines, I think. So we own land or houses, whatever, and I had survivor or husband rights to those. If we would have bought a resort, which I think we should have did, because that would have gave me something to do, then to set the business up, even as husband and wife, she would be a 60% owner of the resort business. But we should have did that. We should have bought, because we looked at buying some resorts for 10 million, 12 million up in Cebu, and but we should have did that. We should have took our money, bought a resort, lived in the resort, and ran it as a business, because that would have gave me something to do. It would have gave me a purpose. I had no purpose in the Philippines, and it drove me crazy. Still thinking about that? Yeah. 10 million pesos. 10 million pesos. So, yeah, it's pretty cheap, yeah. 10 million, 12 million, I think some were 17 that we looked at. We looked at one on a different island that was in the 20s. But we saw some up on Cebu, small resorts that had, I think, maybe 10 rooms or 10 cabins or 10 whatever you want to call them, and a main house and a beach access, all of that stuff. So for a resort, yeah, pretty cheap for a resort. Now, but this is also coming right after COVID hit. So a lot of these people went belly up. So, and I knew that if we bought one, that we weren't going to be able to make a profit off of it probably for a while. But we looked at that. Looking and the Bangatingas areas and the Tungay areas for things, yeah. That's only a few years back. It is. It's only a few years back. So we were there right after, as COVID started to open up, and we got there right before Typhoon Odette hit, and everything went downhill for us from there. So, and then we came back to the house that we were having built as a rental property here in the United States. But we should have done that. We should have bought a resort, and we wouldn't have needed it to turn a profit. But if it ever did, then we would be great. But we could have managed and supported the resort as our house and as a hobby. And we should have done that. The other thing I looked at, but I didn't feel good about it, was buying fishing boats and then hiring the captains to run it and sharing the profit with them. But I felt like I'd get hustled. All right. It's all right. So I'm not worried about that. I mean, I'm not going to be on here for super long this morning anyway. I like to do these bright and early morning ones for a little bit. I'm going to come back and do a live stream tonight, as always. Tonight's Thursday night. But I'm trying to get back into the habit of getting up and getting online and saying hello to everybody, doing an hour or so. And we're a little bit over that. We're going to stop at an hour and a half. I'm on here already for 85 minutes. So at 90 minutes time, we're going to stop anyway. So, because I don't want to be on here all day. I want to just come in and try to, one, attract a new audience, hopefully. meet new people who can subscribe and support our channel, our mission. If anybody wants to donate to our Rice for Life Fund, we got a PayPal account. And what we do there is, if you don't know, rice is very important to the Philippine people. We're giving out sacks of 5 pounds of rice to, oh gosh, many families in the Philippines at New Year's so that they can have rice on the table. It's kind of like if you're a poor family in the Philippines, if you the psychology is if you have rice on your table when New Year's hit, you're going to have a bountiful year. If you don't have rice, then it means that you're going to have a very bad year. So Henry's in the house. Thank you for being here, HTN. How are you? Are you getting rested up? Taking a break for a little while? Nice. So we've been raising funds to buy 150 pounds of rice, and we've achieved that. So now we've raised our bar because we're giving away 5 pounds per family. We'd like to raise another 100 pounds. It's $1 a pound. We need about another $100 to get to 250 pounds of rice. And we'll divide that, the people in the Philippines will divide that up and give it out so that those poor families, one, can have something to eat, but truly it can help them feel good about the upcoming year. So Henry says he is doing good. All right. Yeah, not doing too bad either. You know, just woke up a little bit ago. I wanted to come up, and I've been telling them I'm trying to do these pop-up morning live streams again like I used to when the weather was warm outside, because I gotten some messages from people saying, hey, I haven't seen you in the mornings in a while. Where you been? So I'm like, all right, well, I'll try to get back up to that and do that. So that's part of what we've been doing, is trying to get these little morning things going again. Because it's always good to find a new audience. That's how you grow your channel. And if you do the one thing, and Michael knows this, and everybody who's watching knows this, that if you do live streams at the same time every day, you're going to get the same people over and over and over. And you may get a few new ones here and there, but in order to grow, you got to find different audiences. You got to do different partnerships. And you got to do collaborations. One of these days, maybe Michael and I will do a joint live stream. I've popped up some mornings, but then I try to roll over oh God. Oh God. Nisha is in the house. Hello, Nisha. How are you this morning? Good to have you here. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, Michael, you're a bad man. Nisha, how are things going in your world? We appreciate you being here. So I like to try to move these things around a little bit. See if we can meet and greet new people. I am doing good. Everybody say hello to Nisha for me if you would. Doing good. Today's Thursday. It's cold. So I don't think I'll be doing much outdoors today. So I'll probably just hide in my house all day today. And I don't know. I need to get somewhat motivated to do something. But I'm going to do some work on the computer a little bit. But other than that, I'll probably just play video games on my iPad all day. It's one of those days. Well, they do. And I've done StreamYard for years. Every Thursday night, I would have a StreamYard live. And we might get 6 people on the panel and maybe another 5 or 6, 10 people in the chat. And they do work, but these vertical ones get more random people showing up, is what I like, because I want to grow my numbers and grow my audience. With the StreamYard, what you're going to find is you're going to have all the same people coming back and coming back. Nisha says hello to MJ. Let's do the Philippine. You have like 4 likes. Yeah, on my phone, I have 10 likes on this one. I don't know about this. So I do live streams like this because there's a couple reasons. Sometimes when you get these panels, they become a cluster. You get people wanting to argue with each other or talk over each other, yell and scream. And I don't like that. I don't like that. And if you can run the panel to where you're having a good time and everybody gets a chance to speak, I think it's great. But the problem is you get people that don't want to let the other speak. And I don't like that. So, yeah, I don't know about this. Okay, I'll refresh to see. Yep, I have 11 now, 9 in the house. Shut them up. I do. I try to shut them up, but I also try to, if they have a value, about opinion, I want to hear the opinion. What's your plans for today, sir? Not a whole lot. I'm just going to stay home and relax. Y'all bad news. Aquarium says we're all bad news. All right, whatever makes you happy. I ran the panel on Zoom of my music group and friends, 200 plus members. Nice. MJ's laughing at you there, Aquarius. Bad news, that's right. We are the bad news people. So, the StreamYards can be helpful. I got kind of burned out doing them because we never seem to have any intellectual dialogue. It all diverted down into the ditch. And you only get the same collective, the same group. And so I got bored of doing that. I got bored of people getting mad because they couldn't talk over somebody. They getting mad because somebody said something they didn't like, and they're getting pissy about it. And I just didn't like the chaos. And so I stopped doing them. I'm going to do them again, but I stopped doing them. And what I have found on my live stream like this, I can invite people on the panel on this. I just got to do it early. I got to do it before I start the live stream. I can send you a request, Michael, to join. I could have Nisha join us. I could send people to come in and be a part of this on this format, which YouTube pushes out. YouTube doesn't push out your StreamYard live streams because that's not YouTube. Well, if I heard right about how to get some, snow before Christmas, you never chatted on there with me on your live stream? Have you on your StreamYard? I thought I'd been on your StreamYard. Yeah, I thought I'd been there. Well, if I heard right, you're about to get some snow before Christmas. I don't know. I haven't watched the weather. It doesn't feel like snow. I'll talk under you. I don't know about that. I was talking about yours. Were you ever on one of my StreamYards? Is that what you're trying to say, Mike? Yeah. So, and part of it, to be honest, was I got a little tired of feeling obligated to let that person that we were referencing at the top of this involved. Because he was always wanting to be there. And I can appreciate that. And you know who I'm talking about, MJ, from earlier, this talk. But he didn't make things enjoyable. And so I kind of went, well, maybe I'll go this way so I can control where we go and what we do. And I can make sure everybody gets recognized. But you said something about intelligent talk. There you go, I know. That's the hard thing on my live streams, no intelligent. And because I do feel like as a moderator, it's my job to let everybody have an opinion and talk. But I don't want a crap fest. I don't want a bitch fest. So much so. And I thought it was important to read the chat and get everybody involved. And if somebody had a question to somebody on the panel, I wanted the panel member to answer it. I didn't want them to blow them off. I wanted them to answer the question. So, and it's hard to kind of do that with StreamYard. Nisha says, yes, yes, indeed. So, because that's what I want. I want everybody to be equal. I want everybody to be valued on my live streams. And, but Michael, what we can do one of these days, if you ever want, I can send you a link to join this one and then this type of live stream. So you and I can do one together, or Henry or anybody that has a email address or a YouTube account. I want others to talk. I feel like I've been here a long time and the two of us have been chatting over and over an hour. Yep, let others chat and we will do it. Well, we're going to be getting off here soon anyway, and happy to do whatever you want. But what a lot of people do, Michael, and I think you're learning this, is a lot of people like to listen to conversations because that's how they learn. And so when we discuss certain issues in depth, then people go, oh, it's like Alexandria was here earlier. We were happened to randomly talking about finances, right? And she picked up some tips and went, oh, these are things I didn't know. So it's not a bad thing about the investments, right? So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Keep going on. I'm just listening and taking a break, Henry says. Retirement, etc. Yeah. So that's kind of how these work. And that's why I stop and say, look, if you're in the background, come forward, drop us a chat, let us know who's here. If you have any questions, I feel like I'm teaching class. So let's talk about our subject matter, whatever subject matter. Do you have any questions? Let's go over those questions and see what's what. So Chasing Tail has been in the background. Before you leave, you're going live tonight. Yes, sir. I am going live tonight. This one is only supposed to be a hour-long pop-up live stream to say hi to everybody. But it's been a little bit longer than that. So, yes, I'm going to go live tonight. So maybe if you have some insight on things to share with the rest of the class, I implore you to join me in at least one video. Yeah, absolutely. And as you know, Michael, and hello, Henry from Chasing Tail, I can do a live after this. Okay. You should do a live, and I encourage other people to do live. But as you guys have all figured out, and sometimes I struggle with it, but as everybody that watches any of my live streams, for some strange reason, and my wife laughs at me about this, but I can sit here and talk to my own self for hours. I can come up with my own dialogue, my own conversations. And I think a lot of people kind of like that, the fact that I can carry on a conversation even when there's not a lot of banter back and forth. So I can put things out there. Maybe you don't want to hear it. Maybe you don't like what I have to say. But at least I kind of look at it as teaching class. There is many times I would lecture for 3 hours and my students would look at me with their eyes glazed over. So MJ says I can do that after a few drinks, So one good thing about my live streams is I can chat, I guess, is the good thing. I can keep it moving. And I try to pick out things. And one thing I encourage you to do, Michael, and yours, because I know you struggle with that a little bit, is like if Henry says, oh, I'm here, I'm just resting. Well, that gives you an opportunity to say, well, what are you resting from, Henry? What have you been doing? How's your day going? Have you been working hard? So you got to find those little openings to pull a question out to get somebody involved in the conversation and then allow that to build upon a topic. It's like Nisha's here, just like a teacher. So obviously Nisha's a student or has been a student. Nisha, were you a good student as an example? So taught assembly language as a young age to my younger teenagers back in the 80s at a science museum meeting. Very nice. So don't know. Well, I've been breaking the washing machine basically. I'm getting ready to put a new one in. Well, why are you breaking the washing machine? Why would you do that? Why are you washing your clothes? Just throw them all out and go to Walmart and buy some more. Hello? There are 10 types of people in the binary. Okay. Am I one of them? So that's part of what I try to do. I try to capitalize. If I know how somebody feels and believes, if it's like somebody from Germany comes in or from another country, I try to get them to tell us and to share with us about, their experiences in their country. Because one, I want to learn and I want you guys to learn. And so it's like Nisha, 10 equals 2. Most that understand binary, that do not. I do not. I am not smart enough to understand binary. All I know is I'm a guy. I'm not a binary. I'm not a trinary, a quadnary. I'm just a male man. Is that the type of binary you mean? 2 plus 2 equals 5, Henry says. I will teach you binary. All right, if you want to. The mailman, that's it. But that's the thing. And you got to, if you can laugh and have fun and poke fun at things, I don't take anything too seriously that anybody tells me or says. That's why I don't mind trolls. I just don't. I just try to embrace the time and the conversation we're in. And if I need to do a little Googling to add to a topic, I will. So, but thinking of that, I am trying to get off of here. So why don't we close this one up and you can teach me binary at a later time. That's why I tolerate everybody. But one, you actually have interesting things to say, and you have knowledge. And so what I like to do is find my student in the classroom that has knowledge, and I try to pull them into the conversation, and I try to turn them into a co-teacher, because that's what you do. You find somebody who has more knowledge than you, or good knowledge in the subject matter that you're on, and you bring them in, and you give them leadership ability and power to voice their opinion and talk their opinion and their thoughts. That's how you change behavior and you build a collective. HN says, maybe. Should I start a live now? Yes, go ahead and start a live now. Start your live now, and I'll transfer everybody over to you as I get off of here. But that's what I like to do. I like to sample the room, my students, get to know them a little bit. And if I know somebody has an expertise in the subject matter, I try to pull them into that and let them help me co-teach it. That's how I see these live streams. It's like, if you guys need to learn about how to be a good-looking man, well, then that's all on me. I'm the only one that can do that for you guys. But if you need to learn how about cars or something, well, you got HTN. Music's Michael. Chasing Tail Outdoors, well, we know what he does. So, we know that he's the outdoor guy. So that's kind of what we do. But, yeah, Michael, what he's saying is go ahead and drop your link here into my chat before I get off of here, and they can switch over and follow you. So, that's the way to do it. That's how I do it. I like to do it that way. And I like to just ask people questions, the Gary Martin Show. So yeah, get your link and get it ready to drop. And then you can drop it and people will switch over and come visit you. And that's the kind of way to do it. There's nothing wrong with sharing the wealth. Let me copy the link. 1 second, yes. You need to be Johnny on the spot. Come on, man. You got to take advantage of the opportunity. But I want to appreciate Chasing Tail, MJ, Nisha. Thank you for being here. Alexandria was here. HTN was here. A bunch of other people were in and out earlier. So thank you all for once again coming to the live stream, of course, and come back tonight. And I know this weekend, I think Lorelai's planning on doing some night ones this weekend, I think, is what she's planning on doing. So as we wait for Michael to drop his link, and then we'll let it get up there, and you guys can go over and bust Michael's chops. Give Michael a hard time, Chasing Tail. If you everybody that wants to, go to Michael's live stream, MJ's live stream, and when you do, go bust his chops. Give him a hard time. Make him earn his pay. I know, Anisha, you're busy with school and all of those activities that you have going on in your life, so I know it's hard for you. That's why my wife and I, Nisha, appreciate very much that you do get to come to our live streams and that you chime in and say hello to us. So we understand how busy you are, and we appreciate that. But we appreciate everybody that makes the effort. Yeah, and I know that, and she likes it when you join her live streams. She really does. Michael says, if I get one person to show up on my live stream, I'm happy. Thank you so much, Nisha. That's all that matters. Well, I got to get back to taking out the washing machine since the new one will be here soon. Take care, everybody. I'll let you know in a little while. All right, my friend. So Michael's up and running. So, Michael, I might come through a different avenue and come watch you for a little bit, but I'm gonna get off of here. So, Nisha, take care. Jason Tell Outdoors, see you tonight. See all of you guys tonight, probably around 7-ish, 6:30, 7-ish. So, everybody take care.